Hey everybody, looks like we're going to be, no, I'm not going to be there today, but we're going to take a look at an example project, in case you need an example of merging Physica with Twitter 4J, and I think you'll find it uh, hopefully useful. So here's my little project. Here's a Physica world, and then I can search for whatever I want to search for. So I'll search for um, oh, I guess I'm going to search in DND as my search, and the backspace works. Because, usually fairly good stuff, not appropriate stuff comes up. So I'll press enter and search, and it's searching right now. And then a bunch of F boxes come out that represent sort of the tweets that the people have made. And these are just their user profile pictures, and theoretically their tweets could be stored along with them. So we'll take a look and see how I did this, and this could be an example of something you're going to do. Maybe you'll combine it with your platformer with a character moving around, or I don't know what you might do. I could search for something else afterwards. I could search for fun. I don't know. Funny? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll go for it. So I'll search fun, and then another set of things will come down, and yay, it was mostly appropriate. And hey, what's more fun than Kylo Ren? So let's take a look at the code and see what's going on with this project. So first of all, we're going to have the usual goodness of Physica, as well as the usual goodness of the Twitter project combined together. And in my setup, I'm doing the usual goodness for Physica. All my configuration builder stuff and creating the Twitter instance, which is referred to as my Twitter in this project. I do that in this function, and then making the world. It's a pretty boring world. It's just a platform, static platform. That's all done here. It's also, actually making the world itself. So then I have my draw function, which just draws stuff, and it also draws the text. Just so you know, this text variable, this is the thing I'm using to search. So as I type keys, I'm adding to this text variable. Very important to start it off as this in the setup, just so you know, or you'll get a null pointer. At this time right here, that's null, but now it's the empty string. So you don't want that to happen. So that's pretty much all it's doing. So where's all the action happening? Well, I guess you didn't see this when I typed something in. I have to press the enter key to make things go. So if I press enter, where, I just have a loading sign or something. But there it is. That's what triggers all of these things to happen. It triggers the search for Twitter. So I guess we'll take a look at this, the typing first of all. So we'll go down to, here we go. Here's some stuff with key release. I guess I could shrink this down a bit. You guys don't need it so big. And then you can see better what's going on. Yeah, look at that. Hopefully that's still pretty good size. So in my key released function, I'm using key released. I don't know if this is the best choice, but it's a workable choice. First of all, I have this if else here, and I'm checking to see if the key is a coded key. In other words, things like up arrows and the shift key that are things that have no character attached to them. So those are things that you don't want to really type. So we're not going to include those. But you might, maybe you want to have things like you have a character that jumps around in this world. So you could put your, if pressing up and down and so on. Pardon me. You can have that inside of this area. Else, we're going to handle all the other good stuff, like a backspace, pressing enter, pressing tab, and any other non-coded key. So let's start there. If you type, excluding backspace, return, and tab, anything else, we're just going to add key onto text. And this symbol, the assignments operator here, is not something we often see. So I'll just replace it with something that's a little bit more common. We're just adding whatever character is pressed onto the text variable. So we'll accumulate the letters as we type them. You can see that happening here. I'll type ASDF, right? It's taking the previous string and adding the new key onto it. Then the reason why backspace works is because it uses a substring. So if the key is backspace, you just got to make sure there's actually something there to delete, and if there is, then we're replacing text with a substring of text, which just goes from the beginning till one less than the end. So the substring is just chopping off the last piece of the last letter, basically. So that works out nicely. And it doesn't add the backspace character because this doesn't happen, so that doesn't occur. There's a couple other things. Tab calls make world, and that's what made the world in the first place that we did in the setup. So that'll clear all the stuff. If I press tab, you'll see all the things go away and the world gets reset back to the beginning. And then the enter key also calls this function, which is make tweet boxes, which is, you know, all these things that fall down from the sky. And the tweet boxes are just F boxes, and they have a picture attached to them. And we'll look at that today, and you can see what's going on there. But there's more work to be done than what I have. Like, they're not interactive. I mean, they're interactive in the physical sense, but they're not interactive in any kind of Twitter. You know, I can't click on them and get the tweet that this person tweeted, for example. So we won't see that, but this will get you started in that direction. This person has a lot of dice. I like it. Anyways, here we go. Next, where would be a good place to go? It's hard to remember where I put stuff. Yeah, here we go. Check it out. Here's my make tweet boxes. This is going to basically restructure the kind of stuff we've already seen. And it's just going to add in the Fisica stuff. So we have our array list of tweets, and we have a query. And notice that the query is based on text. That's the name of the variable, right, that we're adding letters to as we type them. So when we call this function, then we'll search for that string of text. And then we have to use the try catch structure because that's what Twitter needs. And this is what I got going on here. I basically search Twitter with the query that I just built. It gives me an array list of, so it gives me some results, and from the results I can get the array list of tweets. And then I can use a loop to go through tweets and, you know, get each status at a time, and then I'm just sort of getting all the details of, you know, just basically what we've been doing in the example project so far. The new thing is that I'm also making an F box. So this is the usual Twitter stuff we've seen. Here's our usual F box stuff that we saw previously. So, you know, make a new F box, just call it F, and because this is in a loop, it'll make one for each tweet that's happening. And I just figure out the size based on the profile picture's height that I acquired from load image. And then I give it a bit of spin so it doesn't look like it's just falling awkwardly, perfectly horizontal and vertical. And then I set a random position just to shake it up a bit, and I attach the profile picture. That's the secret right there. And I add this to the world. And there's a catch that we, you know, won't worry about too much at the moment because we're not really going to catch those errors. So that's the story. So this has a lot to be desired. It's a good start, but as I said before, you can't really get the tweets from these. These are just F boxes. And the only part of the tweet that they have acquired is the profile picture, because that's really, there's no place in an F box to store a user or a name, or, you know, we can get the message as well. No place to get the message or store the message inside of that F box. So how is processing is supposed to know that when I click on this one, I get the tweet that corresponded to that person's profile picture. All I've done is attach the profile picture to this F box. I haven't attached any of these other pieces of information. So how do you attach a string or a user object to this? Well, the answer is you're going to make a new tab, and you're going to make a class like a F tweets or something. That's going to be a class that extends Fbox, or it could be Fbody, whichever one you think is appropriate. And this class is very similar to the kind of classes you built when you were trying to extend Fbox for your other Fisica projects. So, for example, the F-bomb that we created, or the Goombas that we created, you can make a class here that will have these details. You will have to make an array list of these somewhere, but these will be able to add to the world just as easily. So instead of making an Fbox, we'll make an Ftweet, and we'll be able to have things like a string for the name of the person and a string for the message, and all these other details. And we'll probably have an act function in here, or a show function, whichever you prefer to call it. That is, there's some sort of loop in the draw function that's constantly going through an array list of ftweet objects, checking to see if the mouse is close enough. And if they are, it'll probably display the message somewhere. Alternatively, it could require a click. I'm not really going to create this too much because it's sort of the work I think you guys are set up pretty well to do. It's just like a Goomba or a Thwomp or an F-bomb, which we've all created, that I think you can make some progress with. And of course, there's a lot of additional things for you to tweak around in here as well. This is a bit silly in some ways, but kind of fun. Just have these things show up and fall out of the sky and land on the ground. I mean, you can probably come up with something more interesting than that to happen. But if you want to create some kind of a tweet game where now you have a character that can jump on the tweets, and it's the character's collision with the Ftweet that shows the message, then that would be cool too. So you guys can decide. I was thinking actually a fun project might be to have like a pit of fire over here, so you can like push tweets that bug you into a fiery pit, and maybe there's a pit over here that's like glowing with beautiful light, and you could put a tweet in there to do something to. I don't know. I'm not too sure where that idea is going, but the idea of like burning a tweet, maybe if you have like a laser, you could blast them or something. I think that might be enjoyable. Some kind of cathartic, way of dealing with your Twitter rage. So that's just an idea for you. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. I'm sorry again I can't be there at class today, but see what you can do and see what progress you can make on this path. Okay, thanks everybody.